Okay, today's video, we're going to talk about multi-touch advertising and marketing. Here's how to make your ads way more profitable using this multi-touch technique that we use on 90+% of the campaigns we use. So basically, you're going to be able to make twice as many sales with spending 5-10% more on ad spend that you're already spending on your ads right now. And realistically, you'll be able to carve off 5-10% of your ad budget towards the multi-touch advertising strategy that you want to have to get the other 95% to be twice as productive than it already is, or to produce twice as many sales as it already has. So with this, and just to give away the secret kind of up front, what this is about, what I'm talking about here today, is about remarketing, if you will. What you do, if you want to make the most money advertising online, you find the places where people that are about ready to buy or basically perfect candidates to buy, and you advertise to them, and then you spend as much time and efforts that's reasonable following up with them to get them to buy, and that's a fantastic formula to be able to make money running ads for your business online. Where people go wrong is they think, well, I'll take my ad budget and I'll spend it to advertise to everybody once, and I can advertise the most people that way. And that's not the best way to spend your ad budget. The best way to spend your ad budget is to spend it advertising to fewer people, but more than once. Not only that, but like on multiple ad platforms, because people will start out advertising to people on Facebook and they won't follow up and run Google ads, so that they also see you on Google or through Google's ad network that they control. When they're on a news website, they don't see your ad there. When that would actually get them get you more results if you did that, and vice versa. If you're advertising on Google, you damn well should be advertising on Facebook if you want to get the most sales out of the same people that you know are profitable. Which, to distill it all down, really it's, if a set audience is profitable wherever you're advertising, it'll be twice as profitable if you do the multi-touch advertising technique. Now you're remarketing to them, and not just doing it in a stupid way that everybody else does, which is to repeat the customer back to them. You're asking them to buy over and over again with one single approach. You have multiple approaches, and you advertise to them on multiple ad platforms. So they basically see you everywhere, and they see you saying, in a clever way, 5-10 different messages, 15 different messages, compelling them why they should be buying from you, why you're better, how you're better than the competition, what are the different ways that you can use that product or service, testimonials from customers, your average review rating on Google or Yelp or Facebook or what have you, and tell that user a story so that they want to buy from you at twice the rate than they would otherwise if you just simply expected them to come to your site and buy the first time or nothing. Okay, so that's what I'm going to talk about specifically in this video in terms of multi-touch advertising and marketing, and how you can make more with less ad budget, or the same ad budget you have now. So with that said, going into the content here, 90% of all advertisers have no follow-up component with any of their ad campaigns that they run, which this is what can separate the people who basically don't make money online, and those who will scale their ads to the moon just on this one factor alone, because it's going to double the productivity of your ad spend. And when I say 90% of people don't do this, I legitimately mean 90% of people don't do this. I know this because I run an advertising firm. I'm running ad campaigns right and left at our agency because we're bringing on, maybe 2-3 clients on a month. I'm auditing 10-15 different accounts to get to those accounts, because I'm going to pick the best opportunities we have of where we know we can get the most results, because why not do that? And so I've looked at hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different ad accounts before on Facebook, on Google, as well as on other networks, and I see whether people or not are willing to do follow-up advertising. If you don't believe me, in your little niche area of business, whether that be you selling a pottery wheel or you're selling a outsourced CFO service, go ahead and go to all of your competitors' websites and then start writing down how many ads you see or anything you see from those set of competitors after you left their websites. I almost guarantee nobody's going to try advertising to you again after that point. And if they do, it's just one person, and that one person's going to beat you over the head with that one message over and over again asking you to buy, and that's it. That's why if you do what I'm telling you in this video to do, you will literally double the productivity of any ad spend you have at any given time. Your brand, your product and service is going to stand out so much over the competition that if they are going to buy from somebody, they're going to end up buying from you because you're going to be the most familiar, the most trusted, and half the time they're just going to go with the most trusted option. So therefore, that's how you get twice as much productivity from a certain amount of ad spend when you do this multi-touch follow-up approach with your advertising budget. The reason why you only get half of your sales when you don't do any follow-up with your advertising budget and have ads show up for people after they've been to your website already and did not buy, or even if they turned into a lead already, they filled out the form and then haven't bought yet, it's because people don't take you seriously enough without it. And none of your competitors are doing it, so therefore they're going to take you the most seriously as a brand, as a branded product, a branded solution when you do follow up. And because your competitors aren't willing to do it, because they don't see the benefit of it, that is, very few people are going to click through your follow-up ad and then buy right away, so they think it doesn't work. The reality is 90% of the value of that ad is them seeing the ad with your testimonial on it, internalizing it, and then 2 weeks from now when they say, shoot, I cannot delay my purchase anymore, I got to pick one vendor to buy from no matter what today, you're the first person they think of because they saw literally 300 different ads that you got in front of them with over the last 2 weeks, telling them every which way why they should buy from you. Obviously, they're going to pick you in that scenario if they're going to delay their purchase. They're going to buy from you now. This doubles the profitability on your same set of ad dollars when you do it. And when you spend, because most of you guys are just going to be doing Google search ads already. I know that's probably what 70% of businesses that want to advertise online, what they're going to focus on. Or at least half. I don't know the exact percentages, but it's right around there. And then with that, the average person on Google Ads is going to spend about $10 a click. Sometimes you're going to be paying $1-2 a click in some of your markets. Some others you're going to be paying $50 a click. Okay? So, but if you're spending that $10 a click, and then you choose not to do any follow-up advertising and no multiple touches with the user with your ads, which, by the way, costs about 0.02 cents. Yes, you heard right. 0.02 cents per viewing of your banner ad to get in front of that same person when they left your website. Or, in short, 30 cents per click to get them to click to your website from that banner ad. You don't spend your money on that to get in front of that same person again. You're throwing half of your money away. You literally spend $10 to get them to your site, but you won't spend 30 cents to get them back to your site a second time. That's why I can confidently tell you here, and you should be able to pick this up, you're only going to get half of the value out of your advertising budget when you don't invest in the follow-up multi-touch, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth touch to get them back to your site for your company. And ultimately, the name of the game here is the more times you convince them to come back to your website, the more chance you're going to have to sell to that person. Basically, bottom line. That also goes along with keeping them on your site for longer. The longer they're on your site, the more likely they are to buy. It's just like if you were to have a sales conversation with somebody. The longer you talk to them, the more likely they are to buy. All of this stuff is true. So your goal is to speak to somebody in the best way possible to convince them to come back as many times as possible, because that's going to make you the most money, especially considering the cost to get them back to your site is just a small fraction, usually anyway, of what it costs to get them to the site in the first place. In some situations, you're running display ads and you're only spending, let's say, 30 cents to get them to your site. And with it costing 30 cents to get it back to your site, you may ask, well, is that worth it? Is it not worth it just to go after a new person again? And certainly the arbitrage or the value there of the second, third, fourth touch is not nearly as insane or great, but it's still there. There's something called the power of sevens in marketing. You can go ahead and search that up. Pause this video if you want and come back. But basically it says you'll make always more money advertising to fewer people more times than more people but only once. Unless you're talking about something like a broken toilet where you either need to buy right now or not buy. And the longer the time it takes for people to decide to buy, the more that the follow-up is going to play a factor in who's going to end up with that customer at the end of the day. Because people they're delaying because they're evaluating their decision. If you communicate with them consistently as they're evaluating their decision of who to buy from, you're going to just simply end up with a purchase the highest percentage of the time, basically speaking, just winning on that. You can win just on that level. Which, by the way, at our advertising agency, we're not just going to do the follow-up through the banner ads. We're going to do the follow-up through the email. We're going to do follow-up through the phone. We're going to send stuff out in the physical mail to them. Why? Because each little thing adds to a higher return from the advertising we do to get people to our site in the first place. And with it costing so much to get a qualified prospect to the site in the first place, it makes no sense to not invest even $50 to send a package out to that prospect in the mail, even though they contacted us already, because it's going to increase the closing rate percentage on the leads that we do get. And we're going to get, therefore, more bang for our buck out of our marketing budget at our company doing that, which is what I advise a lot of our clients to do. And oftentimes they don't follow through because I don't manage someone's follow-up campaign through email and through the physical mail, but they should do it, and some do and most don't. And so therefore, that's an opportunity in and itself. And with the follow-up, like I mentioned, the really good results that you're going to get with multi-touch advertising is when you advertise on as many platforms as possible online itself, through Facebook, through Google Display Network, AdRoll, Twitter, LinkedIn, every place you possibly can. The more places they see you, the more serious they're going to take your solutions at your company, because they're going to think you're a huge company. Oh, I see this person everywhere. But you don't have to just also do it, and that doesn't have to be the only reason and why it works. When you follow up with them, like I said, with different customer testimonials and your average review rating on Google and Yelp and so forth, your awards, your credentials, that is, how long, what kind of, certifications and stuff that you have. All the stuff that that would normally work to sell a prospect in a physical sales conversation, you build into these ads, and you don't just focus on all of it in one ad like most people would try to take that shortcut right away. But you do a whole series of ads that rotate out for the user after they leave the site, and that each one is going to contribute to increasing the likelihood that person buys from you. And it has a cumulative effect. So they see the first testimonial ad and they say, that's interesting. They're not going to click through and buy like you expect or like people expect. Therefore, that's why they don't do it, like I said. Then the next day they see another testimonial on an ad, on another banner ad that they see while they're reading the news. Then the next day they see an ad that says, here, we reviewed our product and cross-tested it against the leading competitors, and here's what we found. And then you take that ad and you drive them to that case study that you did, comparing you versus the competitor's product. Helps the user tremendously make a decision. Why people don't do this, I have no idea. For the companies that we invest in personally, we have our advertising agency, which is our bread and butter, and then we have other companies, e-commerce companies we invest in. Well, the top thing I love to do is just do a direct comparison between our product and the competitor's product and advertise that in the multi-touch follow-up sequence that we do, and do it on all these different platforms so they can't miss it. But anyway, each thing that they see gets them a little bit closer, a little bit closer, a little bit closer to buying. You can almost think about convincing somebody to buy like filling up a glass. And when the glass gets to the top of, the water gets to the top of the glass and are now ready to buy. And each thing gets you a little bit closer. One individual thing isn't going to get them to buy. Just seeing a testimonial doesn't get them to buy, which is why if you're tracking your results, and that is how many people click through that testimonial ad and then buy, you're not going to see it make sense profit-wise. It's not going to show an ROI. The ROI comes in, the cumulative effect of seeing the 13 ads that they saw in succession increased the likelihood sometime in the next 30 days after they got to the site in the first place that they were going to buy by double than they didn't see those 13 ads. Most of the value is people don't get this, and sometimes I just can't get through. People are trying to communicate how this works. Why, when their sales are going up, then I explain why, and they don't believe it basically. But people see these banner ads that you're going to run. They see it, they internalize it, and they don't act on it, but it influences them on a subconscious level. and they see other ads, another ad. It piles up to the point where eventually they think you're the best just through subliminal messaging through those ads that they see, that you're basically forcing them to internalize these messages about you, that why you're the best. They eventually, when they have to decide to pick somebody, you're just the first person they think of, and they don't even realize you're the first person they think of in that scenario because you did this follow-up. And because you did it intelligently, so that when they see an ad by you, it actually helped them get information about buying the thing that they know that they're likely going to buy to help them make a decision. Whether that be, like I said, a direct, like a durability test, your product versus the competitor's product, or if you're talking about services, putting together a buyer's guide so they understand how not to get ripped off, that's my favorite angle for a buyer's guide. 24-year veteran in the outsourced CFO space, how not to get ripped off hiring an outsourced CFO. Everybody wants to read that content, and that can be repurposed for anything. How not to get ripped off, hiring a funeral home. We've done that kind of thing before itself, as tacky as that is. But then, they're in market for that. You get them to read that information. Now they're considerably more likely to go with you if they're going to buy. And so there's so many different pieces of information you can offer them to help them push them over the edge. And it's really the cumulative effect of all the ads and all the messages together that gets them twice as more likely to buy than if they didn't see any kind of multi-touch advertising approach after they've left your website. And like I said, it works the best when you do it on multiple platforms because that is going to have the most wow factor, and you should be doing it on other channels, email, through the physical mail, so on and so forth, if you want the most results out of your market or out of your advertising budget and the opportunities you have currently coming into your website on a monthly or ongoing basis right now. So the main way to think about what the opportunity of these multi-touch advertising approaches, that is, i.e. through remarketing, is what it's putting you in position to do more than anything is scale. If you have a way to make advertising more efficient and easier to get a return on advertising, there'll be more places you can advertise that'll pay off because everything you do has twice the potential than it would have had otherwise. And so when I'm going to set up a company to scale, what I'm going to do, instead of doing what the average person's going to do, which is to constantly trying to say, where's the next ad we can run? Where's the next ad we can run? First of all, I'm going to be looking at the website and think, what things on this website are we missing content-wise that's going to help to increase the conversion rate? From there, though, I'm going to take and make a whole bunch of different remarketing ads so I can touch that user multiple times after they leave the site with a bunch of different pieces of information that will help them decide that, about what they should buy and why it's important to buy that, and how we have that thing at our company and we offer that exact thing. That's going to get what I call the bottom of the funnel more efficient. So you can pour more people into the top of the funnel all day long. But if the bottom of the funnel is very inefficient, it's going to be hard for you to scale and dump new traffic sources in the funnel because it's what you have is only so efficient. Instead of like what everybody else does, you work from the bottom of the funnel up. How can I get the bottom of the funnel so damn efficient that pretty much anything in our niche that we do to drive traffic into our website, it's just going to work because the bottom of the funnel is just extremely efficient. That is a much easier way to scale your company than to just try to find new places to advertise. Nobody's doing that, therefore it makes such a huge difference on the amount of effect it has on your prospects when you do it. But it's pretty straightforward and it's easy and anybody can do that. So start with the bottom of the funnel and then work up till you get to the top of the funnel. And then when you get to the top of the funnel, it'll be so easy for you to scale because your bottom of the funnel is so much better than anybody else's. Anybody who's even halfway had their wits to them are going to just buy from you because you've got all this tremendous wealth of information for them to buy and made every single case on why they should buy from you versus the competitor. And that's the position you want to be in. If you want a really good example of how this is working, we eat our own dog food here. Visit our site, guaranteedppc.com. I have no less than about 20 different remarketing, multi-touch approaches that we have for anybody who even gets to our agency website. And it's everything. Goes beyond, what we do for our clients itself, because we know, it's how important this is, and we built it up, of course, over years. But they get, tutorials, guides, there's testimonials. One thing I didn't talk about yet is we have remarketing videos. That if you go to YouTube, you see our video ads that pitch our service. You see interviews of, where I've been interviewed before. Several of those. We got videos that just educate on how to make PPC work. And so there's a lot, these ads don't, in and itself, they don't do anything, but they do perception of our company, our brand, for each one that they see, because they're all helpful in helping somebody decide. So all you got to ask yourself is, if I was that buyer, what would help me make a decision? And anything about, even if you were considering a company, about that company in terms of their history, their approach, any of that would help you make a decision. And yes, you may say all that stuff's on your site already. Why do I need to, touch them with it after they leave the site? And the reality is, very little of the information on your site people are going to absorb on the first visit to your site. They're only on your site for a couple of minutes. They can't digest it all. That's why you spoon feed it to them over the next 2, 4 weeks, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks that they're going to be trying to decide who to go with, so that when they finally do make the decision, because there's always a day where they say, I cannot delay this purchase any longer, or I've got the money now. You want to be the first person they think of when that day hits. And if you do the follow-up like I'm talking to you about, you will be the first person they think of, and therefore you'll earn that sale. So whereas everybody else don't want to spend any time or money staying with them while they're trying to decide, you're going to get that sale and they're not. You need to come up to what the people that scale up to millions of dollars in yearly sales from an ad campaign that they build for their companies. They do it by creating a funnel. They try to figure out every place they can find somebody who's about ready to buy or in market, or is a home run type of prospect. They drill down as far as they can to get to just those people. They do everything they can to get them to their site, and then they remarket to them a bunch of times until they're ready to buy. That's the magic formula of scaling online, if there ever is one that I could put into a simple package for you to replicate. And with search advertising, it's extremely valuable to do this, like I said, just because the ads cost so much to get someone to the site in the first place. But even if you're running display ads, there's only so many people that are in market for what you sell. And a lot of times the only thing you can get to work with display ads on Google Display Network, on Facebook, is to get people who are in market. Then once you've got all those people, you're tapped out. If you're going to scale anymore, the remarketing is the key to scaling, because that's going to open up more profitability from stuff that didn't necessarily work before that you can get to work. There's only so many people willing and open to buy your product or service. Whether you make $1 million a year in sales or $2 million just comes down to whether you're willing to extract the full value out of those individual in-market prospects through the multi-touch remarketing advertising you have going on the back end all the time for yourself. And the best part about the multi-touch advertising, that is the remarketing on the back end of what you're doing on the front end to drive new traffic to your site, is it works automatically for you. Once it's actually set up, yes, it's a huge pain to get it all set up initially, a lot of work. If you want to do it right, you've got to have different landing pages to send them to, not just sending them back to the homepage or product on your site. But once it's set up, it just works automatically. It's your automated salesperson that constantly, relentlessly follows up with every prospect that you come across until they're basically it's undeniable that you're the best person for them in your space to purchase from. It's very similar to, if you are, not to say you are, maybe you are, if you're generating leads, the main thing that people screw up with and why they can't get their leads to convert for a service or whatever they're doing is because they don't do any follow-up. There's a less than 50% chance they're going to buy from you on the spot. And where people go wrong is they don't follow up with that person until they're ready to buy. And if they just follow up with the prospect until they're ready to buy, whether that takes 3 follow-ups, 8 follow-ups, which a lot of the follow-ups is, are you ready to buy? No? Okay, I'll follow up with you later. If they just did unlimited follow-ups to every single person that initially inquired from them, they would double their sales closings as well. Well, this is the same thing, but just packaged in a different way. that is through marketing ads. It operates the same exact way as an in-person sale does. It just is it's done through ads, and it's better because it's even automated. You don't have to hope and pray that your salespeople will do what you need them to do. It's set up, you're done. And for that matter, even if you were generating leads at your company, you should still do this because it takes the uncertainty of the salespeople doing the proper follow-up that you wanted to do to make every lead that you have coming in worth the most to your company so you can afford to get a lot more of them. Multi-touch advertising and marketing, that's what it's about. That's how we do it. That's how I recommend you do it as well if you want the same results for yourself. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. I usually get back to people within 24 hours on any questions that they have, including questions that have nothing to do with exactly the topic of the video at hand, but any question you have about running ads. I'd be more than happy to try to put you on the right track with what you're doing as best as I can so that I can say thank you for watching the channel and helping the channel grow itself. And then with that, if you are looking for these sorts of information online that'll help you make millions of dollars running ads for your business, this is the channel you want to subscribe to, as the information you're getting on this channel is coming from somebody who has to A, guarantee results for their clients at our advertising agency just to get paid. The information you're getting is coming from somebody who just does ad strategy 40 hours a week to actually know what works as well as what doesn't work, to be qualified to give you the information on this channel, whereas almost all the information you find online is people not really running even ads at all, and they're just trying to sell you a course based upon speculation, third, fourth hand information, and therefore it's just junk information. If there is a place that is going to be able to really help you make money setting up your own ads, this is the channel you're going to get it from, and therefore you should subscribe, and you should subscribe right now. As a side though, in addition to this channel, by the way, if you didn't know about it yet, I also have a blog on our site at guaranteedppc.com/blog, where we actually give you for free the actual systems and techniques that we use to make and get guaranteed results for clients at our firm there, with step-by-step instructions, with the screenshots, everything you need to use these key strategies that are replicatable, that will get guaranteed results every time. If you want to be able to get, want some firm place to start, that would be the best place to start on things you can do today. And if you like the channel, you're going to like the blog probably even more. So you should definitely also check that out. As mentioned, I run an advertising agency here. The name of the agency is Guaranteed PPC. We do not charge our clients fees until we can get you more results on your campaigns. That is more profits from your campaigns than you already have now, and more profits than our fees cost. That is, if we can't bring you more profits than our fee is, therefore, where you would be able to afford to pay our fee out of the additional profit we're bringing you, there is no fee. We're the only agency out there today that does anything like that, which should tell you about the quality of the services we provide as well as the information we're providing you on this channel, by the way. And if you want to see if there's a way that we can offer you such a service, you should simply reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com. I'd be happy to have a conversation with you about it. We don't take on just any client, but just due to us being able to and want to not waste your time or ours, but if you want to see if there's a possibility of working together and get some estimates as to what the results could be, if you reach out to me, I'd be happy to give you those estimates. You just have to reach out to me and be happy to do so. As a side, if you're not looking to work with an advertising agency like we have here at Guaranteed PPC, if you've worked or if you are in a niche that we've worked in the past, whereas we've worked in over 100 different niche markets in the last 10 years of running Guaranteed PPC, you can actually take the winning version of all the campaigns and landing pages and ads, everything that we've worked hard to put together and get the results we have in a certain niche market for a client. Buy it from us outright for a one-time fee and get the same results we have got that we've built up over years right away in your account, just simply by copying and pasting all of that into your own ad account for your own use. At the very least, if you're in a market and you think you got it covered, you should reach out to us and let us know what results you have, and we can tell you furthermore what results we have, and if there's any value in using our templates. Chances are there are, but with that you would know what turnkey results are available to you just by getting access to our template for your market. And so if you're interested in that, you can also reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com. We've got people that use these templates by the way, to start a whole other businesses from scratch. That is, if you want the best passive income business idea that you could possibly think of, or that I can think of at the very least, you buy one of our templates to start generating leads and then selling those leads to other people in that niche market. Because, basically once you start generating leads from a template that we have and you're able to sell those leads, the execution side of the business is basically done. It's an automated business if there ever is one, as long as you know how to sell the leads, which come at a very good price because you're using our templates. Then you have a passive income business essentially put together as soon as you got that up and going for your business or for yourself already. We also got people, by the way, though, that wanted to sell product. They're in services now. That you take one of our e-commerce product templates that, where we have a client that sells, let's say, a mattress in country A. They're never going to be in country B selling in country B. You could sell a similar mattress as that client in your country or a different country and have turnkey results with it, because what works in one country to sell that product will work in another country for the most part the exact same way, of which you can get that same mattress in China, get something that's similar, and have a turnkey business essentially. If you wanted to start a business and wanted the most certain way to make sure it would work, that's like the easiest, most sure way to have a business that should work with little skill that I possibly would know of. That is, starting with something that we know sells really well with certain ads that we know sells it, and you just simply use it for yourself. If you're interested in any of those opportunities, reach out to me at GaryTPC.com as well. Well, with that said, I'll wrap everything up with that. Hopefully that makes sense to you, and I hope to see you on the next video where we have another great strategy for you then. See you later.